My name is John Machado, and this is the Gunpowder Plot Show, also known as the Guy Fawkes Podcast. And I meant to do this, but it's how it goes. Ah! Fucking everything up right off the bat. This episode is starting off really well. God damn it. I want a producer so bad. Can't afford one.
Everybody is slaves, only some are aware that the government releasing poison in the air. That's the reason I collect so many guns in my lair. I ain't never caught slipping, never underprepared. Yeah, they straight sign on me, they just break it proudly. George Bush, the grandson of Alistair Crowley. They want you to believe a lot of the enemy Saudi. The enemy ain't Saudi, the enemy around me is fluoride.
Song gets me pumped every time. As I mentioned, I am John Machado, and this is the Gunpowder Plot Show, also known as the Guy Fawkes Podcast. And I'll get my plugs out of the way. My website is theweapon.wixsite.com/my site. Daryl. I wrote a book. It's called The Weapon, and it's what all of this is for. So the first chapter is free. Go check it out. Leave me a good comment at the bottom. I will stand more of a chance, as I get the bubble out of my throat, of getting published by somebody I've been wanting to get published for 2 years now, I think. So do me that solid. I don't even know if you necessarily have to read the book. It's kind of fucked up. But no, first chapter's free. It's chapter by chapter. I've got 8 chapters up. I'm working on the 9th chapter right now. Self-publishing is a real pain in the ass and very slow, but it's coming along, and the story is really good. So even if this the podcast, the video, it's not your forte, the writing is better than all of that. I can tell you that much. So go check that out. I've got merch on my website that you can go check out. I don't make a lot off of that. I keep it about as cheap as I possibly can for you guys. So it's pretty cheap stuff. Well, I mean, it's quality, but it's price-wise pretty cheap. So go get yourself some of that. Check out the website. I've got a lot of my sources on there that you can see. I've got some videos on there too. Funny enough, I don't have any of my own videos on there. It's just other people's stuff. Facing the Sun, I've got on there. They do some really good documentaries and stuff as of recent. Yeah, go check them out. So that's the website. Again, it's theweapon.wixsite.com/my site. This will be in the description. So you can just go there. All of the different platforms I'm on, you can go there. My podcast is on Anchor. It's the Guy Fawkes Podcast, also known as, wait a minute, this is Gunpowder Plot Show. Gunpowder Plot Show, or the Guy Fawkes Podcast. So check out any of those. I think that's it for all of my plugs. I got all that out of the way. That guy that I started the show off with is my faux... What's the word for a song that starts your show? Well, that's it. And I usually do him for my protocol series. I'll start off with that in it, and it's Vinny Paz. He's Sicilian. Is he Sicilian? He's an Italian fella from Italy, I think, and came over, and I think he's out in Pennsylvania somewhere, Pittsburgh maybe. But yeah, it's a pretty badass song. You can go check all his stuff out. Where did I go? I was doing this on the opposite side last time, so I'm going to be a little slow. Stop screen. Now you're back to me. So, for this show, I've got a couple of different videos I'm going to break down. This little video series is called Remembering Recent History in Memoriam Well, this one's part 3. And hopefully I'll get it all done with this tonight. But if not, there'll be a part 4. And if I do get it done, then there's going to be some other videos out there. I'll be able to start kind of focusing on more recent, like really recent stuff, as opposed to in the past year. If you're wondering if I could speak English, if you're wondering what shirt I'm wearing, this is Michigan. Michigan football started today, as most other football did. And not that I'm a big fan of sports anymore, sadly, but Michigan football is one of the few that I still watch. So they won today. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. They've been kind of letting me down lately. But anyway, to actually continue on, I didn't realize that I had a whole fucking back of a page of notes. So we're going to continue on with COVID, as if that can't get any more fun. So anyway, this set of notes was like from a month or two ago, and then the next set it was the same stuff. It was basically Fauci and Rand Paul cracking on one another, and then the second one is about the second meeting that they had. So and it's funny that it kind of like all the stuff. I've got a fly in here that's been fucking with me, and I wanted to kill it before the show. In fact, Daryl knows all about it because I was talking to him when this shit went down, or beforehand. Now that Rand Paul, I mean Captain America. These are my notes, so I'm just going to kind of read them verbatim and see where I can go from there. He called out Dr. Fauci the first time in the first meeting, congressional hearing that they had with him in there, for funding the Wuhan lab. If you didn't know anything about that, the Wuhan lab was funded, in fact, by Fauci. NHS, is that what it's called that he's a part of? And the Wuhan lab actually was doing gain of function research. And Fauci, so Rand Paul's hitting on that angle, and Fauci is trying to say, no, we gave them money for research, but we specifically told them, don't you dare do the gain of function. Now, I'm sure you've heard a lot of this stuff, but just giving you my side of it, or my angle. What Dr. Fauci is trying to do is much like what we do here in the United States when it comes to something like Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood gets, I think it's up to $600 million a year in taxpayer funding. Again, it's never government funding. The government doesn't fund shit. It's the taxpayers. They take our money unconstitutionally. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and look that shit up, which is thievery, and then they redistribute it out to other people. A lot of really, and in fact, Rand Paul has been going around on Facebook, and when he was on Twitter, he's off of Twitter now, thanks to all the shit that's going on here. He's been going around and putting out or posting about all the different ridiculous government waste that's going on. I think I've talked about this in my podcast, but one of them that the one that I remember the most is the government spent like a million or a couple $1 million to give cocaine to, I think it was doves, to see if they would be more sexually aroused. That's where your taxpayer dollars are going. But anyway, so when it comes to Planned Parenthood, what a lot of people, oddly enough, pro abortion or liberal leftist leaning people will tend to do is say that, well, that money is not supposed to be used. And I know Planned Parenthood would say this too. It's the money isn't supposed to be used for abortions, but abortions is one of their largest moneymakers there. And the funny thing is they'll say shit like, man, I don't have my list of all the things that they don't do, but it's basically everything that you can think of. They give away condoms, birth control. I'll give them that. They do that, but they really don't do much more than like a very basic examination for women. Somewhat of a um, STD scan too, but they don't have mammograms. I don't think they do. Do they do a fucking pap smear and all that shit? I don't know about that one, but I do know that they do absolutely um, do abortions, and they get funded. So it's insane that like if they're getting funded through taxpayer dollars, one every year they have a surplus and they never give any of that money back. This was back. I don't know when they went up to 600. I know that they were at. I thought it was 550 million a year, and at that time they were having surpluses of 150 million, and like I said, not giving any money back, which is weird because usually government programs will work where if they don't make all the money, they actually get less. Or I'm sorry, if they don't spend all the money, they actually get less money the next year. And that's supposed to be some kind of weird sliding scale in order to get down to the funding that the government believes that they should get. But no, that didn't happen with them. They got more money, 50 million more, if I'm correct in it being 550 in the first place. And as I said, abortions are their golden egg. Is that what I want to call it? And they'll lie all day long to say that it's not, but it's horseshit anyway. And what do they care? They lied about the whole Project Veritas thing. If you don't remember that, Project Veritas broke it that the abortionists were actually selling baby parts. I don't know, education, research, whatever they want to claim that it was for, but they were selling it. And in fact, one of the top people was talking about in one of these videos at a dinner, talking about going and buying a really expensive car by all the money that she made off of selling baby parts. So anyway, the Wuhan lab is a lot like that. It's saying, okay, well, we got this funding from the NHS, from Fauci, and we funded, or I'm sorry, and we did gain a function, but we're going to say that it wasn't, we didn't use those funds for that. And Rand Paul is sitting here saying, no, that's exactly what happened. And Fauci tried arguing it away. Fuck. You got to give me a minute. I'm going to have to end the broadcast for a moment and be right back. Sorry. Some side shit that's happening right now. Give me a couple minutes and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Again, my name is John Machado, and this is the Gun Pot Plot Show, also known as the Guy Fox Podcast. If I'm being honest, that was my foster puppy, and I had to take it out to go pee. So, oh god. Anyway, I'm back, and to jump back into it, as if that wasn't embarrassing enough. Let's see. Fauci didn't want to admit to funding gain of research, and Rand Paul didn't want to let him off the hook, so he kept at it. And it was a pretty good back and forth. So it's a safe and funded gain function. Fauci absolutely lied during their interaction. And then, oddly enough, he came out to say that COVID. Did he say COVID isn't an organic virus? Yes. Came out to say that COVID isn't an organic virus, which is to say that it was due to the gain of function research. What was nutty was right around that time, if you remember, the lockdowns started to get lifted. So that's how long ago this was that I wanted to talk about it. And the same here in Michigan is when the many of the lockdowns, the lockdown here started to alleviate. Fauci's emails had just came out. Was it Project Veritas that came out with that? I feel like it was. And they backed everything that the us, the normal people, the normies, had been saying the whole the whole time. The number one thing, at least to me, I'm sure that other people feel a little bit differently, but the number one thing to me that stuck out the most was his email to, oh fuck, what was her name? She was, I believe, the president of the Health and Human Services Department, if that's a thing. I do know that she was an Obama appointee. I always fuck up that word. Um, and in his email to her, he told her that the masks didn't really work. Why is that? Well, I mean, it's important, obviously, for on face value, him saying it right then and there. But what's more important is that Fauci had first held an interview in which, you know what? Fuck it. Let's see if I can look it up while I'm talking to you guys. First held an interview. I thought it was like just a simple on-air interview with like a random reporter where he stated that masks didn't work. Why isn't this going? Here we go. Fauci saying not to wear a mask. Oh, it was a 60 Minutes interview. Fuck, my memory's a little jacked. Let's see this one. Celebrate summer. Fuck off. We'll mute that for now. So in the timeline, he says that they don't work.
A critical issue.
Here, let's see if I can share it. I know I can share it. Just being facetious. Share screen. Chrome tab. Dr. Fauci. Share it. And here we go.
That I think was one of the things when we finally realized it became very clear what we needed to do was this virus an efficient spreader from human to human? What about community spread? Because there's no doubt that we knew that we would get cases here. And when we got cases here, that people who are documented to be exposed, relatives, husband-wife combinations of someone that comes over, if they get in,
I don't know if it's the amount of time that I've had to look at him and hear him that makes me want to fucking throat chop him right there, but it is. I don't like him. This isn't really getting to where I wanted him to just say the words, dude.
That's not community spread. You know exactly what the source is. A person travels from Wuhan, they're here, they unite with someone, husband, wife.
Oh, for fuck's sake. It says, Fauci on wearing masks.
Right now,
it's not watching anymore, is it? Oh, no, it is. Nice. Fuck yeah.
Do you wish to retract your statement of...
Good. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. Oh, it's all the way over here.
United States. People should not be walking around with masks. You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this. Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
Yep.
And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
So, he said that. You can understand why I thought that was just some random reporter at some point, or at least in my memory anyway. So, he says that. And then he comes out later to say, no, I only said that in the interview because we were facing a mask shortage. And I didn't want to panic the public to where they would go out and buy all the masks. And then the frontline workers, or at least that's what he was calling them. So the people in the hospital wouldn't have masks. Getting an echo on these videos, fuck me running. Damn it. Damn it. I'm not good enough to know how to fix that either. I wonder what it could be. Well, that just shoots my whole wad for everything. Stop screen. Maybe on the next ones it won't be so bad. Any hizzle. But yeah, so he comes out to essentially say that he lied, so that people didn't panic and go out and buy all the masks. Okay, that's interesting. But then these emails broke, and like I said, he was emailing the one person, the president of Health and Human Services. Again, I can't remember her name. I wish I would have looked it up beforehand. But in it, he told her, a pretty important person, I would say, at the time, um, and told her that the masks didn't really work. Why did he need to lie to her? I mean, was she gonna fucking panic and do some shit? I mean, I guess you could maybe make that argument for it, but it doesn't make any sense that he would lie to her and say the same thing that he just said there. And by the way, everything that he just said there is 100% true. It might stop a droplet here or there. However, it's not going to stop all of it. What he didn't go into is breaths per minute. And I really wish Rachel Levine. Thank you, Daryl. Fucking dude. That's my homie right there. Yeah, they didn't take into account breaths per minute. And not only that, oh, I wish I could have fucking. Maybe I'll put it up on Facebook later from my phone. Pictures on the masks, on the box of masks that I took, where it essentially tells you that if the mask is damaged, you shouldn't wear it. Masks are intended for only one use. Not to be put in direct sunlight. That one makes me giggle. And yeah, like I said, breaths per minute. Most people, on average, breathe about 10 to 12 times a minute. And then he times that times 60. And they understand too that the wetter a mask becomes, the less effective it becomes as well. Not just that, they're more than likely not going to fit you appropriately. You don't have any fit tests. You don't have any training. Not that there's a lot of training in it, but still, you don't have any training in how to do a fit test. So you're breathing out all your fucking germs through the sides of your masks. Like the wetness is providing a barrier, sure, but all that barrier is doing is it's causing all of the airways or all of the air to go in and out through the sides of your mask and the top of your mask. It's not stopping shit. And not only that, now you have COVID. If you have COVID, it's all over your fucking face. And then you're touching here and you're fixing and all that other shit. And you go and you touch the box of cereal that you didn't want, and then I end up coming through and I wanted it, and now I have a box of cereal that has fucking COVID all over it. Thanks a lot. So, yeah, so he lies to us, which proves to you also that he's willing to lie to you for whatever purposes. You can say that the ends justify the means, but that's what makes this interaction between him and Rand Paul so important, and especially the second one. He had him fucking shook, and I actually have that. As you saw, I have that video that I want to show, and hopefully the echoing isn't there. I wonder if it's because I got my fucking mic out. I don't know. So any hassle? Fauci attacking me. His attack. Oh yeah, and then so after that, Fauci actually said this shit. This is megalomaniac-ish, megalomaniacal. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. The motherfucker, because so many people, after Rand cracked him a couple, kicked him right in the nuts, came out to say that attacking me is attacking science. Fuck you, dude. I mean, where are the other scientists? Well, obviously the ones that disagree with him are being censored left, right, and center. But even like the other ones that may agree with him, like where are those fucking guys to be like, hey, let's tap the brakes a little bit. You know, let's pull back the reins on that one, fuckface. But yeah, what a crazy fucking thing to say. But that's somebody who has power, has had power and fame and money, and new fame as well, who's starting to lose it. And not only lose it, lose some shit along the way. Um, and if attacking him is attacking science, let me just be the first to say I'd like to kick the shit out of science. Um, but it isn't science. And in fact, the science um, isn't settled. It's and it's not the scientists. I'm sorry, it's not science that's saying any of this. It's scientists, right? Who are being propped up. I need to add that because I tried to do that at my son's school board meeting and it didn't quite sound like I wanted it to. CVS pharmacists using right hand for shopping. I saw this at a CVS that I went to where they had an ad or a fucking billboard or whatever up talking about I can't remember if it was getting I think it was like a sticker on your right hand. I think that's what it was. I don't think it was a tattoo, but it was like a sticker to put on your right hand. It was specifically your right hand. It wasn't like, oh, your left hand? Cool. No, it was specifically the right hand um, in order to shop at their stores. That's fucking Mark of the Beast type shit right there, dude. Like that fucking that prophecy is pretty close to being there. I wouldn't quite say that it was the vaccine, just because you're not getting it in your right hand. Well, however, back in the day, the hand was anything between your elbow and the tips of your fingers. This was your hand. So when they say that Christ's hands, when he was nailed to the cross, that they used his hands, they did go through somewhere in the wrist here, not so much the hand, but this was still considered the hand. Um, I've seen that in a lot of debates too with atheists or whatever. That that try to bring that up and go, oh, he couldn't have been hung by his hand. It's like, stop it. They do the same with fish. In the Old Testament, well, a fish was anything in the water. A fucking octopus was a fish back then. They didn't have modern day scientific terminology that we have now back in those days. So anything in the water was a fish. So like if that ever comes up, go ahead and crack them back on that one. Because they should be smart enough to know that. And if they don't know that, or if they do know that, they're just being disingenuous. Anyway, Rand Paul. Yeah, what was he doing with the Cleveland, Kentucky, Cleveland Clinic? No need to vaccinate people who've previously had COVID. I think they were the ones that did the report that came out to say that. Yeah, no need to vaccinate people who've previously had COVID. And that's true. If you've already had COVID, you don't need a shot. And you can tell everybody to go fuck themselves. I mean, anybody can go tell everybody to fuck themselves. I argue you don't need that shot at all. Because it doesn't work. My sister, I was just talking to my sister tonight. I don't know if I want to give away all the details on this, but my sister ended up going and getting the first shot. And then I was talking to her tonight. And she's like, I'm going to get the second. I got to go get my second one or whatever. Maybe she said I'm scheduled to. And I'm like, why? Don't. Fucking. I told her, I go, it doesn't work. You know, like, I know she listens to these podcasts. Like, what are you doing? I think my mom's just got her maybe scared into, I don't know, but anyway, Rand Paul. Now this is before, I think right before Rand Paul came out to say that he wasn't getting the shot, and like people were shocked. But what you need to understand is natural immunity is so much stronger than vaccine immunity when it comes to COVID. So much stronger. And not only that, it lasts longer. Like the fact that now you need 2 shots. And then now they're talking about boosters. Fuck, I've got some stuff on Australia that's coming up that is crazy. The crazy fucking one of the, I don't know, are they all called the PMs for the different areas? I don't know, Australia. You gotta help me out with that one. I'm not down there. I'm only seeing some shit from down there, and it's pretty shocking. The things that are going on in Australia, I think are a litmus test to see if they can pull that shit over I would say it's probably going to happen more over in Europe before it comes to the United States. But the United States is the last. That's it. Like if they can somehow, some way get through all of our people with guns and shit, um, then they'll have it. But anyway, um, yeah, the shit that's going on in Australia, fuck, is it bad? Um, oh shit, I meant to get another one of the videos of this dad. Holy shit, is it heartbreaking? It's a dad that gets his daughter. They're trying to test her, and they're just surrounding these people. There's three cops, and the daughter like pulls away, or starts to go away, and then the dad like I think she tries to reach back for her dad, and her dad goes to grab after her, and one of the fucking cops just socks him in the back, and then three of them just tackle him and start beating the shit out of him. The girl tries running away from the fucking nurses. I think I'd kill everybody in that room if I was the father. Fuck. Oh, I don't want to think about that right now. I'll get too boiled over. Yeah. So Rand Paul stated he wasn't going to get it, and the everybody blew their fucking tops. So along with it not working, now I've heard rumors, lots of rumors, and in fact they may not be rumors, but you make the decision for yourself. I would say go and check out Infowars and Alex Jones and what they've been reporting for the past. Well, I mean, you can go however long back you'd like to, but I would highly suggest the past 2 weeks on what they've been reporting on COVID, how many doctors that they've brought on, scientists as well as experts. They've even brought on, I think it's Dr. Vladimir Zevzelenko, who was the founder of hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and azithromycin, the cure to COVID. So they've had a lot of people on there, really good reporting on there, and some really fucking scary shit too. That I've said it before on my podcast. Like, I just don't know if I want to. I don't want to believe it right now, which oftentimes happens with Infowars. I don't want to believe it, but it turns out to be true. Anyway, some of the rumors of the vaccine that it will cause death, and in fact, that one is true because the FDA just accidentally leaked. It was a video I meant to or I showed at the end of my last video, and it was kind of fucked up. I didn't get to the right part on it, and I was too tired. I mean, I was up for like 2.5 hours doing that. So anyway, the FDA accidentally leaked their side effects, and death was one of the possible side effects. And what's so funny is I keep, like, especially today, because I was watching, I think it was ABC or ESPN for the football game. Wow, it's funny how that is now part of this. And so many of the commercials were for pharmaceuticals. It had nothing to do with COVID, but on all of these pharmaceuticals. And these crazy medications have some serious side effects, some of which are like death, and they have to admit it. I think that's why you don't see like the Moderna vaccine being like having commercials. You'll see commercials for a vaccine to go get your vaccine, which is ill-given medical. Why can't I think of words? Ill-given medical advice. But anyway, you won't see Moderna. You won't see Johnson. Well, definitely not Johnson and Johnson now because they've had some issues with the blood clots. Definitely AstraZeneca won't be on there, but Moderna, Pfizer, what's the other one? There's a couple of them, but you won't see them put theirs on there because they would have to list all their side effects. And then people wouldn't want to take their fucking vaccine because it might kill them. Well, yeah, that's kind of the thing. So anyway, other ones, I've heard a rumor that they cause dementia and Alzheimer's. I think it's too soon to really see that. Although I say that, and it's been out for what, 9 months at the very least? No, 8 months at the very least. Is that enough time to see if something can give you dementia? I don't know. That's a question that I don't have an answer to right now. Rand Paul. Oh, sorry, no, he didn't say this. But another rumor is that it's killed children who have gotten it. Kids don't need it. Kids don't need it. I'm sorry. Um, fuck, what's his name? Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan just got it. Joe Rogan. Who's the boxer that just got it too? Fuck, the Golden Boy. Damn it, Daryl. If you know that guy's name, if you could type it into the comments, I'd appreciate it. I can finally ask you. Oh shit, I just had his name. Anyway, there was a boxer that just got the COVID, COVID, and he already had the vaccine, and so that was kind of a big deal. I think some people were wishing Rogan did beat it. So Rogan the got COVID, and he went and did a video in which he stated that he threw everything in the kitchen sink at it, including ivermectin. I would highly suggest that if you are somebody who's worried, who's got some conditions, if you're not in the best of health, especially maybe even if you're overweight or older, you better ask your doctor to give you ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine. I can't remember if the FDA, I think it's like in extreme measures that you can be given hydroxychloroquine, which is like, fucking, why aren't people seeing that? Like, why aren't people asking more questions about that? But, definitely ivermectin. But anyway, Joe Rogan, oh, he's in Texas. I was still thinking he was in California for some reason. He was given ivermectin, even stated it, and he said he started feeling better, I think, in 2 days. So he beat it for sure. So yeah, there are drugs out there that will knock it out of your system, and ivermectin is certainly one of them. But I guess a whole bunch of lefties and shit started going after Joe and wanting him to die. Yeah, well, that's what they're good for. Wishing ill on anybody who disagrees with them. I'm pretty certain that they want me to die too. Good luck. Fuck, what was that boxer's name? But yeah, he ended up getting it, and he's gonna be. I would assume he's gonna be fine. He's in good health. He's all right. It's not to say that there haven't been people in decent health that have passed away from it, but I mean that's like crazy shit, like the flu killing somebody too, who is in good health or some shit, or somebody getting meningitis, who was in decent health. Shit happens. Rand Paul also came out to say more kids have died from suicide than COVID. Yeah, nobody's talking about that kind of shit. But there are some serious side effects with COVID that are being covered up. That's terrible. It's a man. There's so many things that you could fucking say to describe this stupid, dumb, pussy ass virus. It's an opportunity. And opportunists are going to use it, take advantage of it, to garner power to further their agendas. And that's exactly what's happening, and what has been happening, and what will continue to happen until somebody stops it. And that somebody is us. So anyhizzle, as I mentioned, I had went to, now my podcast listeners have already heard this, so hopefully I can run through it pretty quick on this. I had went to my son's school board meeting, and it was on mask mandates, and wearing masks. And you, at that time, it was up to the parents' discretion as to if they were going to have their kids wear masks or not. I was nervous. Fuck, dude, I'm nervous before I get onto these videos. I got like fucking butterflies in my bellies and shit. So anyway, but I still figured I needed to go and do it. Anyway, I at that point I was like, all right, I'll just go and see if, how the meeting's going, and if I need to stand up and say something, then I will. Because that, like I said, at that point it was a choice. Conveniently, as I arrived, the school board started talking about it, and they actually said, well, the cases have increased, so therefore we were going to, by way of the county, we were going to mandate the masks. And then it was like, oh, you motherfuckers. Good thing I came. I had a whole bunch of notes. I had been researching it for a while. I was starting to write a speech. I hadn't finished it because I didn't think I would need to say it because it was a choice. And what do I really need to say if it's a choice? Fucking good on you. Thanks. So, anyway, and then it was like, all right, now I have to fucking put my name in. And I went and did that. And I'm waiting to have my name called. And I'm nervous as shit. I'm trying to write out this. But then it turns out you only have 2 minutes. You don't have. I wrote like a fucking. I keep saying it was about a 15, 20-minute speech. Listen, I'm long winded, as you can see. So to take 15-minute ish speech and cut it down to 2 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck am I going to say? So, as I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, well, I'm definitely going to mention the list of doctors. I'm going to kind of go from that angle. I'm going to be nice. I wasn't going to mention, even before I knew I was going to talk, I knew I wasn't going to say anything about the vaccine because that's not what we were talking about. We were talking about strictly the masks. So I'm going to be nice. I'm going to come from a nice angle. I'm not going to be a dick like I am right now. So anyway, I figured, all right, the first thing I'm going to say is, does anybody have a box of masks? Because I was going to show them right then and there that it says on the box that they don't work. Not something you want to do if you have any form of stage fright and if you're nervous and if you only have 2 minutes, because it doesn't work out very well. I'll tell you what happened to me. So I get my name called and I go up there with my kind of idea of what I'm going to say. And I got up and right away, I said, does anybody have a box of masks? And they looked at me like I was stupid. Not like I was stupid. They looked stupid. Sorry, my bad. They didn't know what I was fucking talking about. And I go, of masks, like the things that you're wearing on your face. Does anybody have a box? Sure enough, they did. At first, it was like nobody knew, and they were kind of like, I don't know what the fuck does he know? So I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I can just fucking talk on it. And I start talking on it, and then all of a sudden, oh, we have one. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, come on, bring it over. Brought it over to me. I couldn't read. I'm not shitting you. I was that nervous. I was that pressed for time. And I looked at the box in front of everybody in the room, and I just go, this is just garbled up letters. I can't read what's on this fucking box. And I go, yeah, fuck it. And I just put it down. And I told him that I think I said 6 to 7 months prior to whatever, that it actually said on the box that specifically it did not stop the transmission of COVID. And it did. I actually saw this on a box of masks at a Walmart. That was a truthful story. I really wanted to look at that box again after I was done with all this. But anyway, then I went into stating, I said, it's not the science that's saying anything. It's the scientists, the experts, and the doctors. Now, I could have said it like it's the propped up doctors and experts and scientists that are saying this, but I was nervous. And so I had to add that after, which doesn't sound as good when you're trying to make a point. And then I said, but I do have a list of doctors, experts, and scientists who actually are against wearing masks altogether, and they say that they don't work. And my list was Dr. Ron Paul, Dr. Rand Paul, and I only laugh about that because the left hate these guys and wouldn't consider them doctors. Dr. Rand Paul, the reason why he's so important, and especially with him and Fauci, which, do I get to them talking after? Yeah, why don't I have it right there? That's stupid. Yeah, I'll have it right there. So I will. But the reason that Dr. Rand Paul, and that's how he should be, far more than Dr. whatever Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, get fucked. Okay, you're not a doctor. I mean, she's got her doctorate, but you're not a doctor. Like, you know, like we consider people doctors, and not even like in one of those like higher echelon fields of study. You bitch. But Dr. Rand Paul actually studied virology at the University of Duke. And I think it was University of Duke. So either Duke or North Carolina. I'm fairly certain it was Duke. So he's not somebody that you, being Dr. Fauci, can get away with much shit, because he'll call you out on it and be like, no, dude, I fucking studied this shit too. I was in the health field for a bit as well. I was an EMT, went through paramedic. So I've studied a little bit of this stuff. I'm not going to say I'm some kind of fucking expert, but I've studied some of this stuff, and I'm actually rereading a whole slew of other stuff that I had already previously went through. So anyway, Dr. Rand Paul, Dr. Ron Paul, Dr. Suzanne Humphreys, Dr. Russell Baylock, Dr. Ryan Coles, and then Dr. Vladimir Zevzelenko. I wanted to keep the list not too long because I knew I wouldn't have that much time, but I still tried to make it long. Anyway, as I said, he was the founder of hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and azithromycin. And then I forgot to fucking mention the 2 White Coat summits, I guess, or that's what you want to call it. But I did go on to say that there were many other doctors and experts and scientists who wanted to speak out, some of which you have, but so many of them are afraid of being ostracized. Oh, fuck, this was another point. Where I stated, I'm sorry, when I said ostracized, I couldn't say the fucking word. I said ostracism. I settled with ostracized. It didn't sound as good, but everybody knew where I was going on that. And they would be ostracized and terminated, which is exactly what's been happening. In fact, here's a little bit of proof what's going on in California right now. Not so much about necessarily speaking out, although that would happen. For any doctors or nurses or healthcare workers that don't get the vaccination, even if they already had the fucking virus and now have the antibodies, if they don't get the vaccination, they'll be terminated. Ain't that fucked up? Yeah. Sorry, I keep thinking about the videos and if it's got something to do with my earpiece. That isn't in. Fucking Ryan. I wish I had a producer I could yell at like Gavin does. Oh shit, coming up on an hour. Along with these doctors. Oh, and then I made a pretty good point. I told them all, nobody really cares about this. I'm sorry, nobody really believes in this. And I said, even all of you guys, I said, how many of us go to a restaurant masked, and then the host comes over, and then you're walked 5 to 25, 35 feet away from the door, and then you take off your mask and eat as if the food and drinks are kryptonite. And COVID takes a break, takes a little rest while you take a rest. And it's like some kind of fucking, agreed upon break. The COVID isn't come and get you. And there were so many other examples that I wanted to use. Any of these award shows, I did want to go in on the BLM riots and the protests, and point out that there were never any explosions of people catching COVID after those. However, when it was, and I wanted to point out to him too that it was all politicized, because when Trump would have his rallies, or if there was some kind of a patriot gathering, that the news would then call that a super spreader event, but nothing to do with the rioting or protests or what have you, to show that people they really don't believe in it. Another person I was going to use on this list was actually Dr. Fauci, in which I would have brought up the statement that he made, obviously on 60 Minutes, and then also the emails that he had come up with. But also on top of that, I would have brought up the picture that went viral, which was him in a baseball game, in which he was wearing the mask underneath his chin outside, which, by the way, I'm fine with. And my point overall with these people was that I fine. If you want to wear the mask, if it makes you feel comfortable, have at it. Wear the mask. If you want to get the shot because you believe that it'll do something, have at it. Go get your shot. I don't want to mandate that you can't get the shot, and I don't want to mandate that you can't wear a mask. That's the difference here, is that you guys are mandating something to us that you are unconstitutional in doing. We don't want to do the same to you for our viewpoint. We just want you to basically leave us the fuck alone, and you won't. And their arguments is that, well, you'll kill us. Well, you fuckers come around to our doors, start knocking on them and shit, something might happen. Edmund Shabazian. Who is that, Daryl? Is that one of the... was it somebody that I couldn't think of their name? It wasn't the boxer. The boxer was the golden boy. Damn it. Can't remember his name. Anyway, I was also going to bring up, and funny enough, a couple of the other people that showed up at this meeting, I didn't know what to expect, right? So I show up, and I'm like, all right, who am I going to have just a whole slew of people that are going to fucking be angry at me and be yelling and yada, yada, yada. I had been seeing the school board meetings prior to this, and I was like, that's cool that there's a lot of patriots out there that actually give two shits and are there together, and they're clapping and they're fucking coming together and shit like that. Great. Love that. I didn't know if I'd see the same effect, right? I didn't know if I'd be the only one there that was on this side. Turns out I wasn't. There was a whole slew of motherfuckers that were there. Oscar De La Hoya, yes! I'm gonna wake up my whole house doing that. Oscar De La Hoya, yeah, he got it. As I mentioned in the last one, fucking DMX got the vaccine and died. Yeah. There's been a couple people who got some shit that fucked them up. So people were talking about Bell's palsy. I really want to be done talking about COVID. I promise I do. But I'm not. So this was going to go down this line. This is the stuff that I wish I would have got to. Let's see, where did I get cut off? I told them they all didn't really care about it. I pointed at one of the vice president and told her that you're touching your face a whole bunch, and that's a pretty quick way of getting COVID too, because I wanted to tell them that your eyes can still get it, but they didn't fucking realize that. Where did that information go to? That's something, right? Like your eyes have membranes in them, right? That viruses can get into. It's not just your nose. Although they do say that the mask is made to prevent you from spreading it to someone else. Again, it goes out through all the sides and all this, that, and the other, which I think I was going to talk about too. But anyway, yeah, and that was it. And then I think I got cut off. So I got cut off at 2 minutes. It was a 2-minute speech. Felt kind of bad about, because there was so much that I wanted to, fricassee them on, which I would have. I mean, all in all, the masks absolutely don't work. I have a podcast so you can listen to all this that I've talked about and whatnot on it. Give that to anybody that wants to try and tell you that the masks work. They don't. They just absolutely do not. It is it's 99.98% that they don't work. Just like you are more than 99.98% going to survive COVID. But anyway, some of the points that I would have liked to have made that sadly my podcast listeners have already heard, but now you're going to hear, and they're going to hear twice. Former President Barack Obama, for his birthday blowout, had previously invited 700 people. These are the people that this shows that people really don't care, and not just any old-fashioned person, right? This is the former president of the United States of America. Even he doesn't care. He doesn't, and it's not that he doesn't care. I'm sorry, I need to quit saying it. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe it because he invited 700 people to his birthday bash, his 70th birthday bash. Excuse me. Erykah Badu, who is a racist piece of shit, she was there. She was invited. She only had like one hit, didn't she? Maybe two. She took a video of Barack Obama on the dance floor, which I have to assume, like, when that went viral, she must have got some shit, I assume. But it showed Barack Obama dancing without a mask and all these people there dancing without masks and shit. So Barack Obama doesn't really believe in it. The Texas Democrat lawmakers who flew from Texas to Washington, D.C. because they didn't like what the governor was doing, and the governor actually put out, I can't remember what it's called, ordered that they would be arrested when they came back. And then they went through the courts, and then it turned out that the courts actually said, yes, you guys can be arrested. His order stands. I can't remember what happened from that. I'm sure it's probably still in the courts as of right now. But those guys didn't care because they took a picture of all of them in a fucking hollow tube flying through the air at 30,000 feet, and not a one of those sons of bitches wearing masks. This is all after all of a sudden it came back that you needed to wear masks, which is funny because it's just in time for school, just in time for fall and everything else to come up. Now you need to wear your masks again. I can't remember if I said it on the last video or not. Your antibodies, I did. Your antibodies, as long as the virus is around, your body will keep regenerating antibodies to fight off that virus. That's why somebody who got COVID last year still has antibodies now, because the stupid fucking virus has been around this entire fucking time. Which is crazy. It's something that I have to admit, something I don't want to admit, because just like the flu, it comes and it goes, right? It has its season and then it's done, and then it has its season and then it's done. This fucking virus is sticking around. So it's a real virus, I assume, right? From all the people that keep getting it. However, I don't know one single person that's gotten the Delta variant, unless the one person that I know that had it had the Delta variant. But even then, I don't know. Anyway, but it's pretty crazy that it's that contagious. And guess what? I don't know not a one single person that's had it. Not even like somebody who knows somebody that had it. Interesting. Anyway, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, on numerous occasions for photo ops, had her mask off, and then the cameras came out. She put her mask on. Cameras went off. She took them off. And there's videos of this shit out there. So she doesn't fucking believe it. Sorry, not care. She doesn't believe. At least two photos of former Secretary of State John Kerry, where he's on a plane without his mask on. This is even during times where like the masks were like mandated in certain parts of the country, and people were really gung-ho about wearing the fucking things. And then here was my point about everybody who's eaten walked 5 to 20 feet from the entrance, and then take it off. And that's the vast majority of us. Yeah. More information. Everyone participated not only in the summer riots. Okay, so that was the riots and shit that I was gonna say. But also the BLM, LGBT. Oh yeah, there's a great big old gay march back then in March in California, and I guess the gay people don't really give two shits about it either, or believe in it, I should say. And they sure as shit don't give a fuck in those gay marches for covering themselves up around children either. Just want to point that out. I'd like to kind of fucking jab that one in as much as I can. Oh fuck, dude. The marches out there in San Fran and whatever else. The videos. I wouldn't suggest watching them, but pretty fucking bad, dude. With kids being there. Like, those kids' parents are fucking terrible. Hold on. I gotta stop my podcast and restart it. So until I can come up with a better solution, what I'm going to do is my videos and my podcast will just have to be separate. Because the other night when I did this video and podcast, when I did the video breakdowns, they were there was an echo, which means that the speakers were feeding back into the mic when I didn't have my headset in. So what I was doing throughout the rest of that night and the remainder 2 hours of it were primarily video breakdowns. I was just keeping the my earpiece in and pausing the podcast, which made for a pretty cut up podcast, and which would have resulted in it being pretty shitty. So I just decided to not podcast the rest of it and just focus on the video. So, like I said, what I'll have to just do from here on out until I can figure out a better way is just keep them separate. I'm in the process of trying to upload all of my videos onto BitChute, Rumble, YouTube. I feel like there's another one in there, and obviously Facebook. So you can go to those to catch them. I'll be doing one tonight. It's going to be hopefully much, much shorter. And then doing my podcasts as well too. So, and sorry I haven't gotten the other part of protocol number 20 out. I am actively working on it, although I didn't last night and the day before, but I hope that you had a good Labor Day. So that was a big part of what's kind of preventing me, dude. I passed out last night, I think at 8:30 or 9. Too much fun. What's that mean? So, I'll be getting the other part to Protocol 20 out soon, and continue on doing videos and podcasts separately until I can figure it out. So, hopefully you enjoy. Until next time, be accountable, be responsible, don't be liberal.